Hello everyone. Welcome in to the MMBN channel. I am Komari, and today we have another race for the Mega Man Battle Network 6 80% tournament. We are very close to the end of the tournament, only 4 racers left. And today we have Miri versus Income Big. So yeah, this is the loser semifinal. Whoever loses gets eliminated, and whoever wins is gonna face me in the losers finals. So yeah, how are you guys doing today? Income Big, Miri, hello.
Hello. I'm doing all right. It's gonna be a fun day, fun race. It was a fun tournament, and yeah, it was gonna be phenomenal. I had fun, all the way here. I should have been eliminated more times than I can count, but I know this isn't one of those races where I can, get through with luck alone.
I mean, you could. It could happen. Anything can happen.
I guess that's kind of how luck works, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, it's been really interesting watching this tournament unfold. There's some people that came in that were just like brand new to running the game, and that it made me want to like kind of learn the run. So I'm sort of doing that now, sort of.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Curdle has been running as well.
Yeah, we also have Crayon Crayoff and Curdle Games for commentary. So say hello, guys.
Hey, man.
Yeah, we jumped the gun a little bit. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to be introduced. We're just background noise.
Everybody knows us already from all of their chats anyway.
Yeah, I go around and bother enough of you guys. It's like, oh, there he is.
But yeah, anyway, I'm very excited to see this race. We're gonna have another dog v bird, which is always
The last
interesting.
one.
Yeah, you're the only one who plays bird who's left in the tournament, aren't you?
I am.
Gotta kind of carry the torch then.
I said I'm not switching. I'm getting eliminated playing the game I love.
So
Exactly.
how do I, like, if I want to, because when I was on your stream the other day, Crayon, and you taught me the run, we were playing Gregar, but if I wanted to try the Falzar any percent run as well, what things would I have to change?
Good question.
So
Basically, the main difference is just the scenario for your first cross. So Gregor has Heat Cross, Falzar gets Spout Cross, and the Spout Cross scenario is quite different. Takes a little longer as well. And then after that, you really don't have... In Falzar, you don't have the fail-safe of, oh, if I don't get a good draw or I don't know what to do, I can just Heat Cross. So you do have to be like a little more creative in how you go about doing your combats.
All right. Seems like both runners are ready. Are you guys ready?
Oh, I think we also need a prediction, if anybody can do that.
True, I can do that.
And of course, for everybody in chat, don't forget your bingo sheets.
Thanks to everyone who resubbed as well. Awesome.
Yeah,
Nekonami
some resubs.
and Nekonami and Jameek and also Tara. Nice. Thank you guys.
shout outs to Jameek. I wouldn't have learned this game without him.
Yo, same. But yeah, can you guys see the Discord stream? We should.
Yes.
All right, we are all set up. So, Jameek, are you ready?
I am ready. Oh, yes, I'm ready.
Miri, are you ready? Okay, so Curdle, do you want to do a countdown?
Sure thing. All right, on go. Okay, guys.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Like, have fun.
You too, you
Good
too.
luck, have fun, gamers. I'm so excited. Oh, we got that tasty input display. Let's go.
Both the runners got the input display on.
That's like the default Lua script for the input display that comes with BizHawk, right?
I'm not sure.
No, this is,
actually.
I'm on a GBI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a GBI thing. Both runners are on Game Boy interface.
Oh, okay. Is that like a good place for it, you think? Like at the top of the middle of the screen that doesn't like get in the way of anything while you're playing?
Nothing really important.
That's where it is.
And it's see-through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean, all that's
personally-
really there is the custom bar.
Yeah, I personally like it, but you can actually customize it. It does.
Can?
Yeah, it does require some like slight programming knowledge. I think like you need to write some code into GBI to. reposition
Probably just
it, I
like
think.
change the offset in the script, like some number that just
Yeah.
decides the position.
You're welcome, Dingles.
Dingles gets to watch this before bed.
Exactly.
Okay, Coma. Coma has
Birdle, thanks for the sub as well.
Why, you're very welcome, gamers. I like this place.
Alright, while both runners go through the mandatory tutorial, a staple of the BN series.
It's like almost the same in every game, but like the third one's like kind of different.
Fourth one's a little different too.
Oh yeah.
The way the Metars move.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That when I was playing through BN1, that threw me off so much.
Yikes.
That the enemies move in a different order. Very confusing. Alright, well, Central Area 1 is up next. Let's hope both runners get a decent encounter to get their reflector on.
You know, speedrunning this game, just like trying to learn the speedruns, has been like. I realize I never paid attention to the order of the metas when playing the games. I just like whichever one moved first, I would just reflexively react to it, and that would be it. You know, that's how I would play the game, just like a total caveman.
Ooh, both runners getting getting a good encounter. Well, Miri getting a slightly worse encounter, but a good draw to deal with it anyway, so that works out. Ink getting the potential Mac gun. Both runners picking up 2 reflector A's. Ooh, and Miri getting another encounter. That is very unfortunate.
So is the second reflector A like part of the strat?
It's not really.
I mean, for Falzar, I'll definitely want it for folder flow. For
Yeah, it's
Rigard.
definitely not bad to have a second reflector, but it's not really necessary. Most of the time, you'd rather have a reflector because you need one, and then a Mac gun because it's just quite a powerful chip early on, and it's not terrible even later on.
So you just like, would you do the same thing where you just take another battle intentionally to get the Mac gun?
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either. It's like
Yeah,
if
I
I
wouldn't
don't get
either.
it, I'm just like, okay, well that's unfortunate. Let's move on.
Right, right.
Oops.
Oops, that's the desk. So for those people who are learning the speedrun and talking to desks in the classroom continually, You see, even experienced runners have that issue sometimes.
They're like the trigger boxes are like right next to each other.
The trigger boxes for the desks are slightly larger than the trigger boxes for talking to the NPC who's sitting behind them. So if you press A from too far away, you'll talk to the desk. You have to get closer to actually talk to the NPC. It's really weird.
Skip the crayon encounter. Good job, Jameek.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, Miri not managing to find a sword there. That's very unfortunate.
That's how my draw goes every time in that fight. Yeah, I'm gonna put some proper money on Jameek here.
I wish I could bet channel points. Unfortunate. Shout out to Bucket Kid. Savior of the day.
Saved everyone.
There we go. Now it's not skewed anymore. Okay, if anyone wins on either side, you get a nice amount of points. There we go. That's my funding.
May pull up a quick bingo sheet myself. Actually, forgot all about that.
I would do bingo with you, but I like kind of have to do work while I do this. 3D stuff.
All right, and Ink making his way to Robo Control Comp.
Oh, missed the fire there. Held on to a little bit more
These
HP.
guys are pretty fast. Yeah, they're pretty good at this. Like getting really close to the finals as well. But yeah, no, so the way these firewalls work, there's like 3 possible directions that they can spawn from. Each spawn point has like one direction that they can come from. And sometimes you just kind of get lucky and get a firewall that you can actually hide from. And that allows you to start moving a little bit sooner than when you get hit. When you get hit, you get sort of stunned. So it's like very slightly faster to be able to hide from it.
When we were getting set up for the stream, there's like silent in here, right? And then we start the stream, and or rather, like I tune into the Restreamer's Discord stream, and it's just like, oh, the glorious audio just it comes in and it just relieved me so much.
A lovely game sound.
Yeah, it's so cozy.
How are they
man.
so good? It's all practice, Nami. It's all practice. Ooh, Ink getting that.
Yeah, the
Hiding from the
consistent
firewall behind that cube. That is a very tricky one to get. That is very tight.
Yeah.
But you guys play with audio?
We have Miri's audio on.
Okay.
You play with the audio off?
Yeah. I don't play with audio.
Really? Okay, that's
That's-
interesting.
That's so sad. It's like a whole element of the game that's missing. It's like being like, yeah, I don't play the game with art. It just has little squares instead of just boxes for everything primitives. Game's just as good.
Oh,
Quite fast,
Miri
to be
getting
honest.
hit by that firewall. So you can make it to that prog before the firewall actually triggers, but that one is also fairly tight.
I like that one. It feels nice to get. It's like, yes, I made it. Such a fast fire responder.
Yeah,
Mega
for
Man
those who
Mix,
don't know, the runners, they might look like they're moving suboptimally, like in a sort of slower pattern, but that's to trigger extra firewalls, because while the firewall is active, you cannot actually get encounters. So we kind of use this mechanic that's supposed to be a scary thing it hurts you bad.
Of course.
And instead we're like, oh, thank God, another firewall. I'm not getting any more encounters.
I do find that very interesting. Like the first two scenarios are really weird in this, like with how the encounters work.
Yeah.
One weird quirk after another.
So Blastman always, when he's moving around, avoids your lane. So that's why you see Ink standing near the top there with his sword selected, because that means that Blastman has a larger chance to actually go to the front row.
Oh, well.
And if he's ready to attack and you're standing behind that cube, he will always do that fire tornado attack. So Reflector comes in very handy there because it always counters. And that is the first boss down.
Damn, nice. That was nice and fast.
That was a sub 11.
Yeah.
Miri now also making his way to the Blastman fight. Getting a slightly more unfortunate draw.
Oh, it's okay. We're gonna counter with the Vulcan, the guard now. Yeah, that's the money right there.
It's technically kind of slow to do that. You can kill Blastman way faster if you usually when you don't reflect and you just get a good draw. But it's just so easy to do it.
Just get lucky. Don't even worry about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Best strat ever. Just have everything go magically well on its own.
Skipping an encounter like it ain't no thing.
If you get the crayon recounter, the crayon encounter, you restart. No one wants that one.
Of course.
I like how Land's house is also blue in this. They're like, no, it needs a blue roof. They're blue. This is Mega Man. I remember during your stream, you're like, okay, you got to go back home now because you're like coaching me through the run, and then I go to Land's like old house in ACD. It's like no, the new one.
No, new house. Yeah. But it's slow. Sort of. It's very, very slightly slower. But because you get like a free full synchro, that kind of makes up for it. And it's just way easier to do than do all sorts of tricky stuff. But technically, yeah, you could just get lucky and not Reflector at all. Don't give Neko more reasons to reset. Lie to her. I mean, no, I would still recommend if you get the encounter in the Blackboard comp, the crayon encounter, just reset. It's not worth it.
It's early enough too that it's like. The only thing that like prevents me from resetting during some of these instances is like, first off, I'm like, okay, well, I'm slow already. Like I'm still learning the run, so it doesn't matter that much. But also, like, my hand just hurts after every tutorial. It's like kind of brutal.
Understandable, yeah. Finding a comfortable way to mash through text boxes quickly takes a little time and practice.
I think BN6 is probably the most comfortable once you get used to it, but like until I fully understood how it worked, I was hurting my hand for sure. Reset counter of 500.
Not pick up the reg up in the Blackboard, which I'm guessing means he's going to pick it up later on in Seaside. Or maybe skip that one as well and pick it up in Greentown.
So is the Blackboard reg up supposed to be like the more optimal one?
No, technically it isn't, but it's the one that requires the least amount of luck. So there is a skip, sort of, called Rish skip, Normally you would pick up the reg up in that blackboard, because you want to be able to reg copy damage for the heat cross scenario. But you can get away with not doing that and just drawing the copy damage in that scenario naturally, and then you pick up a reg up later on so that you can still reg copy damage for later fights. It's essentially a strategy. It's just, okay, this is takes time, and all you have to do is get way lucky.
I got asked to do this like 10 minutes before you guys started to stream, and I was super down, but I was like also talking to someone, and I forgot to let them know that I'm just gonna randomly disappear to do this. I was just
be gone for the next couple hours. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I just had to let them know just now. Yeah, I was just normally I'm not up at this hour, so I didn't initially agree to do the stream, even though I really wanted to see this run.
Understandable.
But I just happened to be up, and Kova messaged me. So.
Sometimes it just turns out like that. And it was there was a while ago as well where people were planning on doing a race at 5 a.m. my time. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to be asleep. But then for some reason I woke up at 4 a.m. I was like, okay, I can join, I guess.
Damn, dude.
Anyways, story-wise, we're running around Central. We want to go to Seaside area to find out where a penguin might come from. Because everybody here suddenly forgot that there's an aquarium one town over. But okay. And it turns out, the internet has plumbing issues, so we have to go and fix those.
Let me just go to the beach and see if a penguin came from there. Oh, look, an aquarium. This game is really silly. I do like how they manage to squeeze so much gameplay out of just a few simple kind of areas that don't necessarily make a whole, you know what I mean? An area with an aquarium in it is kind of random. And they kind of make it work. In BN3, there's a hospital. And they just have lots of people end up in the hospital. They just kind of make that work. It's really funny.
Alright. Well, this is... If you're going for a solid personal best, this is the part of the run where you're probably going to be resetting most often. Because in this area, there's enemies that drop a train arrow, but they have, at best, a 50-50 shot. And we need one later on to progress.
Those are BN1 chances right there.
Yeah, it's painful. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Oh, and there's a train arrow. It's an F code, but train arrow is a train arrow. We take those.
Ooh.
Get some Saba pings in chat. Train arrow at home.
I'll take my train arrow K and finish the run just fine, and thank you.
Yeah, so if you get a high busting level on those enemies and you get a train arrow drop, which is, again, a 50-50, you can get an A-coded train arrow, which flows better with the folder we have. But in Falzar, if you get a slightly lower rank, you might get an F code, and in Gregor you get a K code, which doesn't flow very well, but still train arrow, which... good enough. Yeah, and don't think we didn't see that longsword S. So we're gonna see a live sword in this run.
Maybe. Maybe.
I have this
Definitely
terrible
put it in.
bingo sheet, by the way. It's all soft locks and die to bosses and stuff.
Oh no, we don't want to see any of that. Throw that one away. Terrible bingo
No,
sheet.
gotta respect the integrity of the bingo. So I'll just have to live with it.
Oh, that's right. You got to bring Mick to the aquarium so we can bully him. That's one of my favorite parts of the game.
That's on the next go. Now we just want to look at an angry shouting pirate
Oh right.
and then go home.
Great part of the run where you go to this place so that you can just immediately leave right after.
It is kind of interesting how the story sort of changes when you do a speedrun of this game, because like you're skipping all of the explanation bits, so you can just sort of fill it in with your own imagination, and it sounds really weird. Train Arrow that good? It's not, well, yes, Train Arrow is a really good chip, but the most important thing about it is later on there's a door at the end of Seaside Area 1, just like there was a door at the end of Central Area 1, that requires you to have Train Arrow. If you don't have Train Arrow, you can't progress. So it's not necessarily that we really want Train Arrow, it's just that we kind of need it to continue going forward throughout the game. And it just happens to be that it's also kind of a nice chip to have. But I think pretty much any BN6 runner would be more than happy to say, okay, if we could skip Train Arrow, if we just couldn't get away with not having it at all, I'd be perfectly willing to do that.
The game forces you though. They advocate for Train Arrow, so
Yeah.
you know how cool it is.
And but early on it is quite a powerful chip, and in Gregor specifically, it's very nice to draw when you have to fight Heatman.
Oh yeah, because if you draw it, he's just dead.
Yeah, pretty much. If you draw with anything that you can use to counter him and get full synchro Train Arrow, he just dies. All right, we tell Nick that his face looks like a penguin.
But I wonder what the
we go play around in the aquarium.
I wonder if there's any like translation differences in Japanese, like if he actually just like says something way worse. Like I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
That would be great. I mean I don't read Japanese. So I don't know.
Me neither. So for those people wondering as well, yeah, both runners are playing on the Japanese version of the game. That is purely just a speed thing.
So text
there's
takes up
fewer
less
text
space.
boxes in Japanese, and the dog barks faster. That's it.
They get more mileage out of their Japanese characters and stuff.
Yeah, but most runners who run this game and run on the Japanese version cannot actually read Japanese. That is not a requirement.
They just remember everything.
Yeah, you just memorize everything.
I had no choice but to try that with. I was like not confident in it. I just played English, but like I had no choice but to try it when I did the 2 scenario BN4 like Den tourney run, because you can't stay away from that juicy like open your chip folder to like reset your step counter nonsense.
Yeah, you really can't compete against, oh, I just never get encounters unless I want to.
Yeah, only scripted ones. It reduces a lot of RNG from that run, which makes it very interesting. But I haven't been able to land that first frame that you're supposed to land in BN4.
Yeah.
I keep thinking I get it, and then I'm like, oh, there's
Oh, that was the wrong one.
there's Top Man. Hi, Top Man. And the Tetsu one is brutal too. Like you get.
Oh, Miri almost getting that penguin skip.
Oh, do we have it? Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Because gaining on him. So penguin skip is kind of a meme skip. It is an actual skip. When you change directions, the game stops your movement for a single frame while it loads in another sprite. So changing directions is something we don't like to do. And you can actually, if you cut that corner before you get to the penguin really tightly, you can just keep going straight and you don't have to change directions to walk around the penguin. So it saves exactly 2 frames.
I didn't get it on my first run. I walked right into the penguin.
And here we see then the next meme skip, which is copybot skip. So when you talk to this copybot, it triggers a cutscene. And then instead of just putting Mega Man in the copybot and letting you run around as Mega Man, it faces LAN away from the copybot, and you have to talk to it again to actually get Mega Man to enter the copybot. And I think pretty much every BN6 runner at some point has accidentally walked all the way over here before realizing that they were running around as LAN and not as Mega Man. And then you have to go back to the copybot and do the whole thing over again.
It's so terrible. You're like, the sprite's right there. It's not even the same sprite.
Yeah. So if you forget to talk to the copybot again, that is called copybot skip. And if you do it correctly, and you do talk to the copybot, that is copybot skip. You know, Miri grinding for Train Arrow in the fish sticks comp.
No.
Gets it soon.
No.
Yeah, I hate to see it. He gets
We
good
ha-
draws though. These are good draws.
Yeah, we want to get out of fish sticks hump as soon as possible.
Yeah. So,
Oh, there we go.
there we go. And he gets an A code as well. That's very nice.
Yeah, that can actually be
But yeah,
used.
so fish sticks is the backup for that one because there's only piranha encounters. So you basically every encounter has a 50-50 shot of giving you the train arrow. The reason we don't just go there in general is because technically it's faster to get it in Seaside, you know, to get lucky, basically. Ink, meanwhile, making his way through Aquarium comp, where you'll see him switch to LAN every once in a while. Basically, this comp, these progs have forgotten what kind of animal they are. They give you like a sort of hint. And the game lets you switch to LAN to inspect all of the tanks throughout the aquarium to figure out what animal that might be. They're always the same ones, so we just memorize. But when you switch to LAN, it resets your step counter. So we use that in strategic spots to hopefully... Oh!
No, not the shark,
Not the
please.
shark. That is... I'm crossing that one off my bingo sheet.
Oh, you got that one? That's funny. Dude, that one's tight too. There's another one that gets me in the third.
Yeah,
there.
there's a couple of tricky bits here. So the movement is kind of set. We've kind of routed this out pretty well, but it's very easy to mess it up somewhere or to like take a wrong turn, forget for a second where you're going, and then there's a shark right around the corner every time.
Yeah, there's a few instances where if you like kind of falter and like move, like wiggle around a bit, that like you just end up missing the window and then the shark gets you. It's pretty rough. Also, like depending on where you actually like which one you actually grab first, there's like extra time that goes into like the cutscene of the sharks like showing up and like starting to move before you can move.
Yeah, so if for example you would forget the regular order of taking the progs and you get a different one first, that's going to mess you up real bad because then the patterns for the other ones are going to be different as well.
Yeah, some of them can be slightly off in a way that, you know, the shark just turns a corner that you don't expect and then you're done.
Yeah, so there's 2 types of sharks. The sharks always spawn in the same spot. And the red sharks have a fixed pattern. They just go around in a circle, basically, or go back and forth between 2 spots. And the blue sharks, they kind of try to chase you. So when they come to a junction, they will try to move towards you most of the time. And we can actually use that to bait them to go somewhere where they get out of our way. Ink did that earlier on. You'll be able to see it hopefully on Miri's screen right now. So Miri is just going here, and now he's slowing down. He's not running anymore. And the reason he does that is to bait that blue shark into going towards the bottom path, the left side path, instead of like right in front of us. Because if you don't slow down there, if you keep running, the shark will actually move to your lane, basically, and corner you. There's no way to get out then. You're just gonna get caught. Actually, it might be possible to get out, but it's slow, so don't do it.
I'm at a point now where I just play it safe in this area.
Yeah.
Your movement's also got to be pretty tight to stretch out those L button presses nicely without messing it up, managing to get an encounter by accident.
Kind of precise in your movement, and even then, even with the optimal L button placement strat, there's throughout this entire comp, like all three areas, there's, I believe, 2 moments where we do take an encounter check of 6%. So sometimes you just get unlucky, and even though you did everything right, you're gonna get an encounter anyway.
We hate that 6% encounter. That was one of the first things that I was explained to about a technicality of the BN6 run by Crayon, and I made such a meme out of it because I didn't know what he was talking about at first. He would just be like, "Oh man, 6%." But 6% is just anything bad happening in my mind.
Yeah. As soon as you get unlucky, that was just a 6% chance you should be unlucky.
Yeah. Anytime anything bad happens, it was because you got 6 out of 100. You just landed that chance.
Right. Ink getting to Dive Man, the worst boss in BN6.
I love how you can just feel so good getting a counter hit, and then he just hits you with a missile, and you're like, oh, well, it's the part that counts.
So Diveman, as you can see, dives down, and he is pretty much invulnerable while he's underwater. You can hit him with certain types of chips,
like bombs.
But bombs. And then when he gets up, he has I think it's like a 38% chance or something stupid like that to attack. So sometimes he just gets up and he doesn't attack. Which sucks for us, because we want him to attack, because if he doesn't attack, you can't counter hit him. And if you can't counter hit him, then you can't get full synchro. Oh, that was smooth. That was a nice finish.
Great. Good old counter hit longsword.
Just missed out on that sub 30 Diveman, though. I don't know if that's still on the bingo sheets.
I had to chuckle when you said 38% or something stupid like that. I gotta go tell 38 that it's Crayon's stupidest number.
I think it's like 37.5 or 37 point something. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
I usually just say it's about a 1 in 3, and then I get corrected by somebody who actually knows what it is.
It's okay, it's not that important.
Yo, look at that draw from Miri, though. All A codes. It's screaming at him.
Oh, train arrow? Now you see why it's so good, because if you stand really far away, you get more arrows.
Exactly, yeah. If you get a long-range train arrow on something, it just does so much damage, even if you don't get full synchro. And Miri getting out of that fight lightning fast. Sub 20 even.
Damn.
For those people playing bingo at home, if you got sub 30 Diveman on your sheets, cross that off now. So this part of the run for me has been very difficult to get used to again. Once I got back into any percent after doing delete diveman for like a long time, because this is the first bit in the run where you actually have to like sort of pay attention to where you're going in the hallways in school, because there's going to be people in the way. And I just kept running into NPCs every single time.
The true reason Crayon got the world record, he just did not want to deal with pedestrian traffic in the school.
That's actually not entirely untrue.
You know what Tinkles was saying on my stream.
And here we see the first major difference between the two versions. Ink starting Spoutman scenario. Picking up a couple of sneak runs so that he doesn't get encounters.
Thank you for that, Crayon. Like I was saying, Tingles was revealing Crayon's secret on my stream, which is that the reason that no one can beat him when he gets world records is because he sends spiders to attack me. Because I was running a category that I think it was drop the base, that Crayon has like we're both on the board, but Crayon has a way better time. And Tingles was like, just get word. I'm like, oh, I can't. You know, there was a spider that showed up earlier, and I had to like go kill it in the middle of the run. And he was like, that's how Crayon keeps his water. He just senses.
I swear, I don't send spiders. You can come for my world record if you want to.
He's actually just super good, is the thing. But I've just found that so
Not
funny.
entirely true.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not trying to deliver competitive times. I'm trying to just like learn the run to like do it for fun, right? And like kind of go against my own times and have a good time. Exactly. Enjoy Battle Network. It's just funny because like whenever you do, if you're not really a speedrunner streamer and you do speedrun streams, people come in and they're like, so I expect that this is going to be a world record, right? They'll just like say stuff like that. I'd probably say that to speedrun.
There's all types of speedrunners. There's people who are like super competitive, really want to go for world record. And there's also just a bunch of people who are like, no, I just want to give speedrunning a try, and I think it's a fun way to play a game. And I don't necessarily need to go for the top time.
We like to do a brisk Greg every now and then.
Exactly. Just go sort of fast-ish.
Faster than the average person at a game that almost no one plays.
So, for a Spoutman scenario, you have to like pick up all these fish. There's 5 in each seaside area, and they do have fixed patterns, so you can sort of memorize where they're going to go if you get close enough. But with the way the perspective is set up, it's still, I find it at least very tricky to see if I'm actually lined up with the fish. Yo, Matsu, welcome in. It is Gregor versus Falzar. Very exciting.
Hey, Matsu, how's it going, man?
But here we see why Gregor's scenario, the Heatman scenario, is preferred if you just want to get your time to as low a number as possible, because Miri is already done with it, whereas Ink still has a little bit to go for the Spoutman scenario.
And then, you know, Heat Cross is just like a big flamethrower blaster. It's so dang OP. Like,
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, Spout Charge Shot is not necessarily bad. It's also really strong. It's just different.
yeah, true. I mean, I kind of want to try the Falzar run as well, since I'm like, I'm just like learning the game. Could be
There's
cool.
the train arrow against Heatman, and he's dead.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, so it turns out having like a really high damage chip deal quadruple damage to an enemy is kind of good. Mary going for the fast strat. And he gets it. That is so cool. So, if you get those 2 fire hits, if you use one, there's a little bit of end lag before you can use the next one. And that gives the back meteors enough time to crouch down and become invulnerable. But the end lag timer, so to speak, doesn't stop when you pause the game. So what we do is you trigger the first fire hit, pause, and then unpause and use step forward and use the second fire hit immediately. And you can kill all 3 meteors before they become invulnerable. Switch to audios again. I'll power for the cool kids.
I mean, I played Falzar growing up because that was the version that I got when the game came out. But I learned the run with Greyguard because Crayon knew that better, and Crayon was coaching me. Which, I mean, sorry, Crayon, and also thank you for for teaching me. I could tell by the end of it, Crayon was like, I was expecting him to take this long, but like, man, it's hard. it's not as easy as these guys make it look.
I was really not annoyed. I was just kind of tired.
No, I felt bad that I like took so long, and you have work the next day. I was aware of what was going on.
Fine, it was fine. So this is probably the most exciting bit of the entire run, where we just enter a bunch of numbers into the lotto number in a lotto code thingy. We mostly just get a bunch of overpowered stuff. Bust pack, HP plus 400, like some really powerful chips that don't really flow well with the folder, but they're just so powerful that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, the Navi customizer builds in this run are just like immediately OP and accessible right away, which is super interesting. I don't feel like the other runs that utilize the Navi customizer are quite the same, though I don't have the full knowledge set to determine that yet.
Yeah, no. So we add in Bust Pack to increase all of our Buster stats. An attack plus 1 and HP plus 400, slightly off the grid. You can do that in this game. It will give you a bug, but the bug is HP bug, which makes us lose 1 HP like every, I don't know, half second or something while in combat, which really, when you have an extra 400 HP, not that big of a deal. Aqua Cross looks different in BN6 compared to BN4-1. It does, yeah. Oh, the chicken is cute. Oh, they're calling you cute, Colonel.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we have the 2 most exciting bits on the screen at the same time. Entering numbers and soul weapons.
I'm always exhausted by the time I finish entering the number trader numbers. I'm glad there's not that many.
Surprisingly difficult to do it quickly.
Yeah. I think I do way too many things. I like redeem too many. I get greedy. And then I like, especially in BN3. There's so many good things.
Just make a short list.
Yeah.
Do you also think that Shuko is waifu? Not really.
Shuko is a waifu.
I'll start the waifu war.
I like Shuko. I think she's a cool character.
Shuko is okay.
I love Komari's Komari Bless, which is based off of Shuko.
Yeah.
As well. It's a great emote. Also, hi Cry, hi Gamer. Thank you for coming in, and good to see you. I did let a few people know I was gonna be doing this randomly. It's fun watching these runs and just like commenting on it with you. Well, I mean, letting you commentate and then asking you dumb questions as we go. You know, maybe there's some of the same dumb questions that people lurking in chat will have. You never know.
I think it's actually really nice to have somebody who's sort of new to speedrunning this game, like who's tried it a couple of times, knows about some of the strats, but like is not very experienced yet. Because there's always going to be a couple of questions that pop up with every new runner, and it's just it's easy to forget some of the things that might be confusing at first, because after a while it just becomes second nature and you just stop thinking about it. So it's good to have somebody to ask those questions. And then also it's just really fun having you around, so there we go.
Aw, shucks, that's so wholesome. You're just turning me to mush right now, Cram.
Anyways, Miri almost done with the first soul weapon scenario.
And thank goodness for that.
So yeah, this is it. I thought when I first played this game casually, the soul weapons bit, I kind of liked it. It was like a little break from all the action. But it didn't really overstay its welcome very much. Like, it's a kind of short bit, and I quite like that. Problem is, when you're doing speedruns of this game, it's the same every single time. So you just kind of learn the optimal route, and then basically it turns into, oh, I just have to move optimally and then do menuing really fast.
Yeah, I just learn this. I learn this exact set of instructions, and I do that.
Yes.
And I gotta say, we've talked about this before on a personal basis, but I'll bring it up here as well. Like, coming from Liberation missions, this just feels like a very underwhelming sort of replacement. Like, it's got the same sort of grid puzzle element in a sense where you're clearing the path, or like you're just getting rid of these things. And it's based on the grid of the like the tile placement of the game, right? But in Liberation missions, you get to do like battles that have a time limit of like 3 custom turns, which is like less than 30 seconds or whatever, and like they'll throw you into some battles where you have less area and things like that, and it's like really interesting. And then and you see this and you're just like, dude, come on, really? This is what you're serving up for the last game, soul weapons? I don't know. It's not necessarily bad, but like, in my opinion, it was just very lackluster.
I can see that. I thought it was nice to have like a sort of puzzle element to break up the combat gameplay.
Yeah, that part I understand, but I'm also like, I love the combat. Like, that's the one thing about BN that makes it so like unique and like kind of like untouched in the way where like no one's ever really done a game like this and built the same kind of world that BN has. And the combat just like drives that, you know, like you're constantly getting into random battles and you're fighting, and then the Liberation missions come in and you're like, oh, this is harder. Like, I get to use other navis. Like, it's just so exciting. And I guess the kind of cool thing that they did in BN6 that you couldn't do in BN5 was like, you can actually go and, you know, operate the cross navis and wander the internet as them. Which you can't do in any other game.
That is really the main draw, the main gimmick in this entry. And also, the runners are almost back in sync, by the way.
Oh, right.
So we can tell who's ahead. So, because of the differences in the Heatman and the Spoutman scenario, Ink has already done the 3 gauntlet fight that you need to do to open the door in Seaside Area 2. Whereas Miri, since he hasn't been there yet, still has to do that one. So once they get through that, basically they're going to be back in sync, and we can more easily tell who's actually ahead.
Look at Spout Man running around with his little water stream. So cute.
I love his little face. It's adorable.
So, what do you think his head like actually looks like without the helmet on?
It's not a helmet. That is his head.
Okay, but hear me out. If you look at his head, the silhouette on the inside, like the shadow, it clearly is a body, right? So like if you just took the helmet part off, you could see the true cursed nature underneath. I mean, it's surprising. He gets way less cute without the helmet because his head is not as big. It's like the proportions of his like tiny little limbs and his ball-shaped fists.
Flopping on the ground, gasping for water. Oh no, Miri.
Please. Why does it have to be this way?
This I've been here many times. It hurts. Because normally you would be like, oh, I can just charge shot and still do like decent damage. But with Heatman, your charge shot only goes forward 2 squares, so it doesn't actually hit the back row.
With the Heatman, your charge shot is just a Tetris T.
Yeah.
Oh, that move's nice though. The like Zippo thing. You get that's a little extra bonus you get, a little extra chip. I do love his design. He is just a Zippo. Like they had a Zippo guy in original Mega Man, but he had like legs, and they were like, let's just get rid of the legs, We don't need him.
Who needs him? Yeah.
Make it like the arms come out of the Zippo part, His whole body is just the Zippo. It's great design. I wonder if you pet him, does his like the flint on his head, like the little flint wheel, just like spark?
One thing I also kind of like story-wise about Heatman is so in this story bit, like Mega Man has absorbed the Psy Beast and he's like struggling to keep it contained and like hurting and not good. And then we learn about this water spring in this seaside area that's got like this magic water or whatever to make to heal stuff, heal people. And in the Gregor version, you have to go there as some other Navi, but the only one you have is Heatman. So basically, we're sending a Zippo to go get some water. And I don't know. I just think that's funny.
Yeah, that is really good. Sounds like they really wrote that scenario for Spoutman over there.
Oh, interesting draw.
You ever go up to the like the different areas in the internet that have like it'd be like a flame or a tornado or like a cloud or something that's in the way and it's blocking like some secret thing like a BMD or something.
Mm-hmm.
With the flame, Spoutman will just put out the flame because he's a water type Navi. But with Heatman, he drinks the flame.
Yeah, he just absorbs it. That's
great. The explanation there. I was wondering, oh, if I just take Fire Guy over here and walk up to the fire, what's going to happen? And he's like, I needed a refreshing drink.
Fire.
Yeah, yummy. So ridiculous. I like how silly the game is. Like, it doesn't need to take itself seriously to be good. I like that it's like, yeah, whatever. You can just like make fun of the cheesy writing. Why not? This game is about being a cool card game and customizing things, and it's so cool for so many reasons. It can have a crappy story. I'm down.
If Mary does the news strap, by the way. He does not. So, a little while ago, for the Beast Out tutorial fight, Goomba came up with a new strategy that is like several frames faster or something.
What's that?
So normally what we do is either pick the Vulcan and then kill the Meteor and double hit with the White Sword the cannons. Or do the same thing but with a mini bomb instead of the Vulcan. But you can actually sort of do some weird buffered movement with Vulcan and White Sword, where you go up and forward, immediately use the Vulcan, and that will kill the Meteor. It just works out that way. And then you can immediately White Sword and get through the fight. And it turns out it's just very slightly faster. How can Incon have a hack check so early in the run? Lotto codes.
You think Jagumba gets penguin skip every time?
No.
I gotta like go watch his world record run and see if there's a penguin skip.
So this boss fight is actually the first fight where we get to use all of our new toys properly. And as you can see, Heat Cross is kind of powerful. The charge shot does 130 damage and flinches. And it just turns this fight into an absolute joke. I love it.
I don't know if you caught this, but in chat we got from GN Rashu. You know what's criminal? Tengu Man can't get rid of cyber clouds. No, Tomahawk Man chops the clouds with an axe. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about.
But wasn't the water like there's also these water fountains that block paths, and I think it's Elec Man that gets rid of them by sort of turning the water into hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm just gonna do some molecular changes here.
Hydrolysis, yeah. Yeah, the geysers. Thanks, Yuki, that's the word I was looking for.
That word is not normally... English people forget that word exists as well, so...
It's funny because it's the same word in Dutch, so I should really remember.
Really? Like,
yeah.
Pronounce it the same way?
No, you say geyser.
Oh, geyser, okay. That sounds like it could be on a bun. It's like if it's got in it.
Fight as well. Now you see, so the strat is a little bit different. Since you can't do Heat Cross in Falzar, you kind of have to. Most of the time, Beast Out is a really powerful option, and you can just charge no element chips and do a bunch of damage that way.
Blast
it actually
him with
does do more damage. So if you get like a decent draw, you can get through fights faster.
I think it's just like when you have Heat Cross, it's the consistent range of being able to reach the back where he's always hiding, right? With that like Falzar Buster, it's like that's pretty good, but you still got to line yourself up with him, and then like because the other two on the sides they only go 2 squares forward, so you're like trying to hit him and he's just so far away.
Yeah, and also your Buster of course doesn't flinch, so you still have to watch out for getting clapped.
I love the expressions for fighting Clown Man. They're all like kind of like sexual innuendo, like getting clapped and like tented.
Yep.
It's brilliant. Brings a tear to my eye.
We didn't see a tent though, right? Both runners kind of dodged that one.
Yeah, no tenting, unfortunately.
How usual is it for Team BN to hold these speedrun tournaments? This is, as far as I know, the first big one we've done.
When Rish was talking about it on his stream, he said likely once or twice a year.
Yeah,
clearly it's time consuming. So
yeah, this is, and since this is a sort of like first go, it's a little hard to organize things. But I guess we'll just fine-tune it a little bit and maybe do it more often if we can find the time and the resources to organize everything. It has been a lot of fun, and I think there's a lot of people who would like to see more tournaments.
Yeah, personally, I had no time to join this one, but I would love to join the next one. Like, if I'm more familiar with the BN3 run than any of them, but even then, I'm like, I don't know. I run single segment, so all them and Nipsey doing any percent. It would be cool to try, even if I end up like losing in a round or two, you know.
I mean, for this tournament as well, there's like a bunch of people who had never done BN6 speedrunning before, and they were just like, yeah, this looks like a fun way to get into it.
And they were right. It is fun. Like, yeah, I mean, some of the runs end up like they're kind of long because you're doing it for like one of the first times ever, and it's not always going to go right. Can't reset in the middle of a race, you know. So kind of gotta accept it for how it is, and like people were really good sports about it. I liked it.
Matsu, we did have a penguin skip in this race, and I'm fairly sure we saw it a couple of times, but I couldn't tell you which races exactly and which runners got it and which ones didn't. Right, we're going into green area, which is a town, area that's built around a justice system. They managed to fuse a computer to a tree and turned it into a judge and thought that was a good idea. Maybe doing a quick folder edit. We've picked up an extra folder here, which has like a bunch of star-coded and decoded null element chips. And null element chips don't sound very good, but with Beast Out, you can charge those and do like 200 damage with the way we've got things set up. Some of the time, it's not really necessary to have that many null element chips, but really the only chips we actually want to draw are like M-Boomer, Elm Trap maybe sometimes, Air Spin. We just have a bunch of really powerful chips and we don't really care about any of the other ones. So you might as well toss them away to do 200 damage. Dive Man percent tourney. No, please. The pressure. I can't.
That would be just like this tournament, but like shorter.
But like way
not as
shorter,
fun.
yeah.
Like people wouldn't even have time to come into the stream. I think it would be cool
I think
to
Dive
see.
Man is better for a sort of showcase thing. For as like part of a larger marathon.
I was saying, like, I've been kind of suggesting this. We should do like a 2-scenario like relay thing to like show people some of the shorter categories and like some of the more accessible stuff. If you're just kind of getting into it, because I mean, okay. So from my perspective, the runs are dauntingly long. Like before I started running Battle Network, I did Hotline Miami, which it starts. The game's only about like a bit more than an hour when you first start it, and then you slowly get your time down to like about 30 minutes or less. So it's pretty short. And then to come into Battle Network and it's like, well, if you want to beat the game, it's like, at best 4 hours on your first time. It's very daunting. So the 2 scenarios are great for that. I thought it would be cool to like put some teams together that can do like relay runs of like all 6 games, 2 scenarios, or like relay races where like everyone does a relay race of the 2 scenarios but like versus each other. So that'd be cool to try. Maybe I'm gonna personally try and put that together. So we'll see. We'll see if it turns out.
Yeah, let's go.
It does take a lot of people, so like that part's tough, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, maybe some people have to do like multiple runs, but should be doable. But yeah, no, it's definitely a thing, and also one of the reasons we have 2 scenario category in the first place, just as a more, I don't want to say casual, just as a more accessible category to get into. Even if you know absolutely nothing about speedrunning BN6. Doing a delete diamond run in under an hour is perfectly doable. Whereas, yeah, if you're doing a full BN6 any% run for the very first time, no practice, just get into it. That's gonna cost you a couple hours, yeah. So not much exciting going on right now. We're just running around talking to people, learning about laws and the consequences of hitting Mr. Progs on the head.
As we do in BN6, BN6 is also known as Talk to Everyone %. The game is mostly about just running around and talking to people, but you know it's inoptimal in the case of this game to get HP mems to run from fights. So that part's cool. So you just get to fight a lot. I do like that part, and it being paired with you being OP and having like beast out and crosses and stuff. Very interesting game to run.
I always start runs going, this will be a casual speed run, and then I get distracted by every G&D and jacking points. I have the exact opposite experience, actually, most of the time. Like, I'm just gonna this is just gonna be practice, nothing serious. And then halfway through, I'm like, oh, I'm actually on a good pace. Dang. Now I kind of want to go for the PB.
So, can we talk about touch grass %? We talk about the touch cybergrass category, the upcoming category for BN6.
Yeah, so, okay, there's a bit of a meme category. It's not an official category on the leaderboards, called touch grass %. And basically, you have to touch grass as fast as you can. And it turns out in all of the other BN games, you can do that relatively quickly. Like in some of them, it's just you skip the opening cutscene and then immediately step on grass. It's like several seconds. But in this game, even though there's grass everywhere, you can't actually stand on it. So if you want to stand on grass, you have to either say, okay, cybergrass counts, and then in this scenario in the run, there is a bit where you can stand on grass. But if you say, okay, we touch real grass, real in quotation marks, like grass in the real world in this game, you can only do that in AC/DC Town, which you get to like several scenarios from now. It's basically end game.
So in both cases, the runs are just like kind of ridiculous. I believe I hold the world record for touch.
Yeah, so the cybergrass thing, there's an area here where there is cybergrass in a dungeon. We'll see it in a bit. But since you can get a boomer chip in the very first area, in Central Area 1, if you just get lucky and get one of those, you can basically get through the run in like 5 minutes, as opposed to like 40. What about using grass seed? I don't think you can get grass seed particularly early on, but yeah.
Fastest way to do it is to just get the BGMD right at the beginning.
Yeah, so in Central Area 1 you can get a GMD in combat. It's like a very low chance, but it can happen. And then it has like, I think it's a 1 in 4, 1 in 5 chance to give you a boomer chip. And the boomer chip spawns grass panels on enemy side of the field when it goes around. So that is the fastest way we currently know of to get onto grass.
Yeah, you boomer and then you area grab so that you can step onto it. All without killing the last enemy, which is like, I learned that the hard way. I like messed it up 3 times.
Same.
Oh man. That is funny though.
Alright, well, we skipped over like a whole bunch of story. Our dad got arrested, was sentenced to get zapped. But we found evidence that he didn't do anything, and it was actually the lawyer guy who made the judge. Because the end.
Have any of you played this casually recently? There's just so many brutally long cutscenes, many of which are silent, just have no music playing. Just, oh man, this game.
I've not seen cutscenes in a long time in this game.
It's probably for the better.
At least we finally know where Dad is at. Yeah, but he's still not home.
He is home more often, though.
That is true.
He lives like 2 blocks from his work. He has no excuse now.
We do see him a little bit more often in this game than in most other ones.
Yeah. They want to really emphasize the neglect that Lan has to go through with his father.
So this is the area I was talking about earlier. This is Judge Tree Dungeon. And the gimmick in this one is basically you have to step on all of these buttons, but you can't backtrack. As soon as you step onto a panel, it spawns grass. And there's a rule in this comp, and they take rules very seriously in Green Sound, that you cannot step on the grass. If you do, a gavel comes flying from off screen and starts chasing you, and if it catches you, you're going to be sentenced and then thrown back to the beginning of the area. Oh no! Oh no, that is very, very unfortunate. So what happened there is there's like a little space in between each tile, and if you get an encounter right as you're triggering the grass on the next tile, I'm pretty sure it's frame perfect.
Wow, that's very
When
unlucky.
you get out of the encounter, it counts as you stepping onto that grass panel, and it triggers the gavel and throws you back to the beginning of the area.
Oh my lord! Yeah, they probably didn't catch that in testing. That's awful.
It is highly unlikely to happen, but it does happen sometimes.
Yeah, I wonder if that was the first time for Miriri over here having to deal with that. That's so unlucky.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. But you know, it's part of the thing, the RNG in this game. Sometimes you just get unlucky. It is one of the more frustrating ways to get unlucky, though. See if we can. I don't think Miri is gonna give us a lurking skip. Ooh, that was smooth though. Cool fight. So there is like a short skip you can do here, called lurking skip, where you intentionally trigger the gavel, because even though the gavel, when it catches you, throws you back to the beginning of the area, while it is chasing you, you cannot get encounters, kind of like the firewalls in Robot Control Comp. So there are points where it is technically faster, because you skip encounters, to intentionally trigger the gavel and then just run to the exit as fast as you can.
It's so cool. I love how every like scenario comp in this game has some kind of strange quirk to it like that. And I know I mentioned this earlier about the first 2 scenarios regarding step counters, but this these are kind of a different flavor. Like this one has, you know, the gavel skip, and then the not so intentional blackjack skip for the Element Man as well.
Yeah, like basically every dungeon kind of has some sort of way to get through it in a unintended fashion. So here we see we trigger the gavel, so we don't have to walk all the way around, and also we can't get encounters.
That's amazing. I've never
Let's
been
see if
so
we can
comforted.
see Judge Man attack.
I doubt it. He's
Oh
gonna
no,
get
there he
blasted.
goes. That counts as an attack. So technically, if you do this optimally, he will attack once, and then you just keep flinching him, and he dies.
I love that Judge Ban is just a pun. You know, he throws the book at you. It's like some kind of lame joke.
Oh, I forgot to cross off Gavel Goes Bop on my bingo sheet.
Can we get some bops in chat for Crayon's bingo sheet?
There we
Well,
go.
that handled us. We did our part. Oh man. This race is good. You guys are keeping me interested.
Yuki. So this skip, Inka's doing it as well. But it's a little safe to say beforehand. That is actually kind of smart. There is.
Oh, I needed to do practice after.
Okay, so yeah, this is just a save for later practice. Okay, I understand. It is very much possible to like get a scary pattern there. The gavel can catch you, and if it does, you get thrown all the way back to area 3, and you have to do it all over again.
Yeah, looked like Inko's having a little bit of trouble there, but we're back on track. We're fighting Judge Man now. Let's see the Falzar strat. Oh, nice. The side busters took care of the books. That's convenient.
Yeah. So Vulcans, when you beast it out, beast out gives plus 30 damage to no element chips. So you can charge Vulcans because they're no element, and you would do 200 damage with a beast swipe. But just using them is actually not that bad either, because you do such an amazing amount of damage.
Yeah, especially with that
if you
counter
full
hit.
synchro. And it's really quick too.
Some of the Vulcans shoot more too. Like as they get higher in tier, they like have more bullets, and the OP-ness just multiplies.
Yeah, it gets ridiculous really quickly. And you can just really quickly, like, if you know the counter hit windows, and you get 2 Vulcans, just like Ink just did, where you counter hit with the first one and then just immediately use the second one, which does like 240 damage or something silly like that. Alright, both runners getting to the second quiz. All of these answers are always the same, so we just memorize whether we pick the first, second, or third answer for each question. Or actually, well, some people memorize, I just have notes on them, and I have to keep reading it. But we get one of the most powerful Navicus programs in the entire run, in the entire game, I would argue. Called the Slip Run. And we just saw Miri use it, actually. But what it allows us to do is twofold, or actually threefold. First, when you are running around as Mega Man on the internet, you can press B to slip forward really fast like that. While you're doing that, you can't actually turn. You can't control Mega Man until you hit a wall and drop out of the slip run animation. Secondly, even when you're just normally running around, you're actually running. Without holding down B, you run instead of regular walking. Now, there's an interesting quirk here that when you're running, your step counter increases faster, so you get more encounters, basically. But the game doesn't actually check if Mega Man is running. The game only checks if the player is holding down B. So with Slip Run, we can run without getting the increased encounter step rates. So that, yeah, basically we get fewer encounters, which is all we really want. We don't want encounters in this run. They're slow.
I love this. I love the slip run stuff. I'm still not used to it. It's really cool though.
It's really easy to slip run somewhere, and then while you're like speeding towards whatever it is, realize, wait, I shouldn't have done that here, and then just go way off course.
Yeah, you're you are married to that direction that you have chosen to slip run in until something stops you. So
Exactly.
I just realized also, Crayon, I'm so sorry. My commentary with you was like 6 or 7 seconds delayed because I had the Twitch stream open instead of. Oops. Sorry about that, buddy.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure I was like commenting on something's a little bit late. Oops.
I hadn't noticed until you
Oh,
said
okay.
it.
Well, I mean, I'm
good.
owning up. I'm owning up to it.
Right,
And
Mary getting to the scary fight of these gauntlets.
I don't like these pulse bulbs.
Nobody does.
If you get the element thing, no, it's not so bad. Oh, apparently I was wrong. It's faster to just buster him in the face though, because then you don't have to wait for the time stop of the element
That's the
anti-element.
thing, yeah. Yeah, so this bit is basically just a bunch of gauntlet fights. And most of them are fairly easy with the way we've got things set up. On a casual run, this is kind of... This can be quite challenging. But most of these fights really are kind of a joke in the speedrun. There are a couple of those, though, that even we are scared of. And the pulse bulb fight is one of those. That fight can go south really quickly. Not particularly likely to die, but it's just slow.
Dingles just said something that really resonated with me, and he said, "I like to pretend I can slip run in the other games by mashing B really fast, so it looks like Mega Man is gliding." And it's true. There's a little delay between when the frames actually switch, or like if you keep mashing it, it restarts the animation of him running, right? So like you can just kind of make it look like you're slip walking, even though you're not. I've done the same thing, Dingles. That's so funny.
We've got slip run at home.
Slip run at home, yeah. That's how I do it in BN3. It's funny.
Right to the pulse bulb fight.
Oh, nice. We're so close to each other in this race. That's amazing. Ink and Miri really neck and neck.
It is fairly close, yeah.
Yeah, like anything could alter the course of this at this point.
So here we see one big difference between the Gregor and the Falzar version in the Beast Out. Gregor actually gets super armor. So we saw Miri do this earlier, but he just stood in front of the pulse bulb and was like not scared. He was not in Beast Out, but you can just do that in Beast Out and not worry about getting flinched out of any charges or whatever. In Falzar, even if you Beast Out, you don't get super armor. So you have to be kind of careful when you're charging a chip, because if you do get hit, that's it. You lost that.
So
whereas in Gregor, you can just go, "Oh, I got hit. Well, that's great. I don't care."
So Falzar gets the advantage of air shoes, technically, or the effect of, right, because they're flying. But and also float shoe, like poison panels don't affect them or anything like that, right? They can just float above panels.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Which really, for the any percent speedrun, doesn't really matter.
Depends. I mean, you could end up in a pretty bad situation in certain fights, maybe.
You
No,
see
maybe
another
not.
example of what I just mentioned. Miri just double deleting that with a Beast Out charge shot. Even when he got hit, it doesn't matter because he won't lose the charge.
Well, you heard it here, gamers. Super armor is better and more pertinent than float shoe and air shoe combined.
I think
because
so,
programs.
Yeah, but as far as it comes to this speedrun, I think in the PvP scene it's more even.
Yeah. Area acquisition becomes really important in PvP as well.
So the thing about these fights, when you're first learning the route, most of these fights are basically just going to boil down. If you're running on Gregor, they're just going to boil down to, oh, I'm going to pick copy damage and heat cross, and that will be good enough. But once you start getting to a higher level, so to speak, in speedrunning this game, you kind of want to avoid doing that. You want to avoid going into Beast Out or into Heat Cross, because the animation to get there takes time. And if you can quickly identify a good draw and do it that way instead, it's usually faster that way.
Yeah,
But it's very difficult to get
potentially.
used to that.
If you assume that all the fighting is going to go at the exact same rate, you're adding like plus 2 seconds to every fight. Like that can be a very significant difference by the end of it.
True, yeah. So these small differences, like in the beginning of the run, I mentioned that turning, when it's not necessary, loses 1 frame, which is one of those things. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you do it over the course of 2 hours, it's going to add up.
Yeah, it really does. And the like little tiny text boxes that you miss, it's like, oh, there was 1 or 2 in that interaction I just did. But then by the end of it, it's like you've missed the mashing point for like 50 or 60 different text boxes at least. And that adds up to like, an amount that could be a difference. And if you're optimizing really high, like some of these runs are like seconds apart from each other, right? So
True, yeah. Sometimes it really does get that close.
and also like when you're learning the run, like I am doing right now, you really feel that stuff pile on. Like if you're attentive to it, you just notice like how it's so much. Like all the little movements you mess up, all the text boxes, every fight where you like took the chips in the wrong order, or like you kind of fumbled around the menu and didn't decide fast enough, or you took the beast out when it wasn't necessary. Those things, like you get to the end and you're like, oh my god, this took an hour longer than it should have.
Yeah, no, I'm still quite surprised at how much time you can actually save just by mashing through text box. It's really fast.
I watched you do
doing
a race.
anything else special.
I watched you do a race where you and Arathar, like, you got right up to Mick at the same exact time. That one interaction with Mick where there's like 30 text boxes or whatever. And like so like Arathar got there like a split second before you, and you got out of there like more than a second before Arathar did, because you were just like, you were on your mashing game that day. And I just found that so crazy. I was like, wow, like I legit just watched this man get ahead in a race by mashing through text boxes.
Exactly.
Crazy.
I learned that how much of a difference that makes purely by trying to compare my runs to Jagumba, our resident world record holder. And I just noticed, like, oh, it's like I'm not even at the tutorial bit, and I'm already losing to this guy. How am I losing so badly already in the first 20 seconds of the run? And it just turns out he was mashing way faster, so I started working on that.
Mashing like accurately too. There's like kind of a rhythm to it in BN6, and you almost want to go like twice that, right? Like kind of subdivide that so that you can also get the arrows out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just go fast. Yeah, there is a sort of timing to it. It's actually possible to mash too fast and miss windows that way, which is weird. But yeah. So this is it's heckin' windy part of the run.
It's very weather out here, and it moves with the camera. It's just like they're just running the texture on like after everything is said and done. I mean, you had to work with the limitations of the GBA. Not much to work with, that tiny little piece of plastic.
I do think it's. I think in a casual run you don't really notice it that much, but we just did Sky Gauntlets, and now we have to do Appliance Gauntlets. So it's just 4 gauntlets followed by another gauntlet.
Appliance gauntlets, is that what we call it?
Yeah,
That's
at
funny.
least that's what I call it. Appliance comps.
I just was like weather fights or whatever. I don't know. It's not specific enough.
I guess that works too, as long as you know what you're talking about.
Scary weather fights.
Exactly.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Elevator fight. See? My terminology, it's catching on. Oh man, Crown, you should have never taught me that first BN run that I learned. Should have never convinced me to learn Delete Dive, man. Now I'm addicted, man. I'm so captured by this.
It is surprisingly addictive. That is true. So, okay, sorry. This fight can be very scary.
Yeah. Especially if you go risky.
Easy.
Yeah. If you can just kill that fan, then you're good, right? But easier said than done.
One counter, that is unfortunate. You hate to see it.
I don't like these guys that throw the bulbs that stun you. I feel very helpless.
They are incredibly annoying. Like, they move around all over the place, they stun you. It is absolutely horrible to deal with these guys.
Wouldn't let him run. I'm just like, dang, give my man a break here. Like, I can't watch him get stunned over and over again. Oh, yo, SP. I got one of those upstairs. It's very dangerous. I avoid using it at all costs.
Does it spit fire?
I find it interesting that Mega Man's like such a firefighter in this. Like in both the first game and the last game, there's like a put out fires kind of scenario. I think.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of appliances or machines that like have flamethrowers attached to them for whatever reason.
They're not as bad as bubbles, though, as we all know. Bubbles are way, way more dangerous. Very high.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Very high death rate. Man, Bubble Man was legit just gonna kill people. Like, this game goes hard, man. It goes hard. But what are they doing in this? Oh, I made the weather spooky. Ooh, your dad's gonna get zapped for 100 hours.
I mean, that one is also kind of.
Oh no, an alligator's gonna eat a penguin at the zoo, at the aquarium.
That's the worst one they've got in the entire series.
And then there's just like BN1 where it's like, yeah, we poisoned the whole water supply.
See if Mario will show us a cutscene. I don't think he will.
No, we're going for that best time. Let's go. Let's go. Don't. What is it like? Is it like tradition for the person who's ahead in the race to watch that cutscene?
Not really, no. But for showcases, we usually do pause there for a second and lose some time just to show the cutscene.
Yeah, we take 2 minutes for our boy Lan and Mega Man.
Exactly.
Having their.
I'm sorry to torture you because we're going to be seeing. Oh no, he didn't get it. Okay, we might see it later when it gets here.
It's a good thing you stopped me. I was about to say something ridiculous.
Okay, so we're in weather comps now. And basically the gimmick in this comp is you have to go around on this cloud and get all of the rainbow macaroni. And then we kill these guys by the power of Skittles. That's it.
I appreciate
not all that much to this dungeon. It's just we have a route kind of figured out, and you're just gonna pick up everything kind of quickly. I think the movement is slightly suboptimal in the sense that you could move faster, I think, but that would also risk more encounters. So you'll
This
see
scenario,
in different ways.
compared to the other scenarios, this one's really no think. Like, you just like kind of run around and you collect the colored macaroni, and you make a nice macaroni picture for the hurricanes, and then they get happy and they disappear.
Exactly.
Also, I appreciate that I got some finishes to my unfinished sentence in the chat. Yuki Bromant. And Hard Candy Mega Moment. Also appreciated. That's fun.
Alright. And now we're going to see our latest trick.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love this part. I had to learn this the other day, and it was like, the subpixel is like, it's close. You make it look so much easier than it is.
The setup is just really easy, but yeah, you can just walk out of bounds in that slope. So we do, and then we trigger the cutscene and get to the final boss and just skip the entire third area of this dungeon.
Karen was like, move left. And I was like, okay, I moved. And he's like, no, that's too far. You gotta go back. You missed the subpixel. I'm like, subpixel? How does this man know? What subpixel? How do you notice this? You just gotta like kind of nudge it a little bit after you get to the right pixel, or what?
Basically, I did like a lot of experimenting with that trick. And I know that the two setups I showed you get you to the correct subpixel, but if you then don't stand on the right bit and try to walk out of bounds, it messes up your subpixel. So then when you try to get back to the correct position, you won't be able to do it.
Oh man, yeah, and that's why I had to restart over and over again from the ramp.
Yeah, yes, that's why I had to do the setup again, just so you can get into the correct position and actually get to the correct pixel where you can walk out of bounds there.
I'm telling you, the way Miri just walked up and just did it, it's not as easy as that, isn't it?
Oh, and we did see Ink do it, so we'll see that trick later on, probably a little bit more. But Slip Run also has a bug. They fixed this in the Legacy Collection, by the way, don't try it. It won't work. But if you run into an NPC and press A and B at the same time, it triggers the Slip Run animation. But because you're also interacting with an NPC, it kind of bugs out, and Mega Man looks like he's slipping, but he's running at normal speed. And you can actually still control him. But the one thing that does happen is you can't get encounters. Now, you do have to be a little bit careful in that state, because if you run into a teleporter, while in that state, you softlock the game. It just immediately softlocks. There's nothing you can do. That's end of the run. And in the Japanese version, if you try and do this trick on anything that gives you an item, it also softlocks your game.
We're gonna see some more slipwalking in AC/DC, right?
Probably, yeah. In AC/DC and probably in Pavilion Comps as well. It's not technically faster to do that. Technically, it's just faster to not get encounters, get lucky. But it's just way more consistent.
And sometimes it's nice to just do fun tricks,
It is the first speedrun trick I learned. Oh my god, Ink. Getting one more combo by those typhoons.
Oh, they ganged up on you. Give my man a break here. Holy.
Yeah, these typhoons can be really trolly. Their movement is semi-random. We have been trying to figure it out a little bit more. There's a couple of rules they do move by, but most of it is just still... Yeah, sometimes they just don't cooperate at all.
Oh man, we're blasting. I always get kind of thrown off that the sort of ramp end area at WeatherComp 2 looks like the same as the one at WeatherComp 3, but without the little boss icon. I have to actually look at
again.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
That's it. There you go.
Hey, beautiful. I do enjoy. I did the same thing, just like kind of fumbling around looking for the trigger for that. It's like towards the cloud, so it's a little weird because you kind of just want to walk up to Element Man and press A, but doesn't
Yeah,
work like that.
so yeah, you can actually, when you get back in bounds on Element Man's little platform there, you can just run around there. There's nothing stopping you, but you can't interact with Element Man, unfortunately. It does nothing.
He just stares at you like with his cold, dead eyes.
I mean, we were kind of hoping that maybe you could interact with him, because in other games there
Shadow
are
Man?
certain parts where you can interact with an NPC you're not supposed to.
You talking about BN5 Ace?
I'm talking about BN5 Ace, indeed.
I was literally just gonna bring that up. We're sharing the same brain cell right now.
So yeah, in BN5, I don't know the exact details of this, but basically we talk to an NPC you're not supposed to, and it triggers a bit of code that's not supposed to be read, which we can put a payload in and basically skip to the end credits. And it's just I think it's a really cool thing. I don't think it's a particularly fun run to do, probably. It
Well, I
looks
mean,
very tedious.
You still get to do the first, you still get to, sorry, I'm standing up right now. You still get to do the first two, scenarios of BN5, which is, a great time.
True, but then the last bit of the run is just, oh, I need to get these hidden values to this number and these hidden values to that number.
Yeah. But
It's cool
on
that
the
we can do it,
upside,
though.
yeah, you can beat the game very fast. That game is long, right? So I like BN5. I think that's a great game. Koma said he's gonna teach me, and we'll do a little streamy stream.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
All right. So we made it back to ACDC. This is actually if we had a touch regular grass, this would be the first bit in the game where you can actually do that.
Yeah, really enticing if you're doing a grass run and you're running through Greentown. And it's just like, oh, damn, it's illegal to step on the grass here, but it's so lush. This is the perfect grass to end my run with. How dare they do this to me?
Yeah, but you can only step on the cybergrass. There's actually no way to step on anything in Greentown itself.
Oh, it's so disappointing. I just want to roll around in that fluffy grass. Pixel grass.
Right, here we see Miri do the slip walking trick again, and here you can really see the power of it. Just walk around, it's fine.
It looks so goofy.
You do have to drop out of that slip walk, we call slip walk animation, because of that teleporter right there. There's been many runners who've accidentally lost the run by not dropping out of the slip walk animation.
Throwing for content.
It's not even for content, it just kind of happened. Sometimes you just kind of space out and you soft lock the game here. To be fair, it tends to not happen very often to any one individual runner, because the first time it happens to you, it's accidental and you're like, oh no, I just wasted 2 hours. And then the second one is like, oh, okay, I thought I learned not to do that anymore, but I still did. And a third one doesn't happen very often.
If you do 3 though, you're out. They ban you from the channel.
It will happen eventually, but you do get kind of careful. I'm really careful around anything that might soft lock. So, for example, I'm always very scared when I'm talking to Roll, which is right next to a teleporter, that I'm accidentally going into slipwalk animation and then running into the teleporter. So I just do some suboptimal movements just to be sure that I don't actually soft lock.
Well, now the next step for you, Crayon, is to make sure that you remove all those suboptimal movements from your run so that you can save a few extra seconds.
Exactly.
I love the big like buster gun that comes with the spout.
What happened to my
cross.
copy damage? I see how this game. I'm gonna need that for later.
Did your copy damage get eaten by the Hatter's movement?
He didn't move.
Huh. Interesting.
Interesting.
We'll have to check the video. Meanwhile, Miri just abusing a blast man. That fight is very different from the first time around.
So mean to poor Blast Man. I wonder if Blast Man is like also like actually kind of neutral or whatever, like sort of quote good, like Mr. Mock is.
But it is. But I do like that Miri did the fast strat in Gregor for the Diveman fight, which is to get M-Boomer, go into Heat Cross, hit Diveman a couple of times, and then get knocked out of Heat Cross so that you can beast out when you open the custom screen again.
Do you also use that M-Boomer grass to like flame up Dive Man while he's swimming through the grass?
Exactly.
as we all know, makes perfect sense.
Don't ask questions about that. Well, I have to step away for just a second.
Sure, no problem. Krano's going to have a cigarette. No, just kidding. Kranon, just light one up right in your seat, man. It's okay, buddy. the kid jumping right before you get to that cutscene trigger is like he jumps like almost his whole height super fast and goes back to the ground. I know it's like, okay, it's a sprite in an isometric game, but if you think about it in terms of real life scale, it's silly and funny. Similarly, how their stature when they're standing next to like houses and stuff, like Lan is like more than half the height of his house. Like, I love the art for these games. Oh, Dex, he's just like Mick or whatever, but in Japanese. Oh, so I guess, yeah, the part where Miri did a slip walk, Ink just kind of went for it. You know, why risk it? The time difference is barely anything, right? So.
Oh, I already got the encounter, so.
Oh, true. Right. Okay, I missed that part.
That was it.
Oh, nice. I love that. There's just something so satisfying about the animation, like not being there. he's just sliding.
I like the animation. That's nice. Oh, got it again.
It's all super well done in this game.
No, I don't believe
He's running through ACDC 3 as Heatman now over here on Miri's side. I guess we're gonna jump into this pit. Like, oh, okay, not yet. You basically just have to run there and talk to a guy and just
and then
leave.
you gotta run, and you gotta back out, talk to another guy, and then do it again.
Yeah, that's this game, all right.
Right, sorry about that. What I miss?
Oh, nothing at all. I'm just my usual fluff commentary. I'm just like chilling.
This bit, I always do this wrong because you have to like walk back and forth between several areas, and I always
Yeah.
forget which area I have to go to.
That was, you know what? You came right back on topic then.
Vernal is the worst split in the run. Care to elaborate, Kamari?
It's boring.
It is kind of boring.
And then you have to do soul weapons again.
That is probably the worst bit about it.
I hate that. We just now, like, mod, please remove soul weapons. No soul weapons %.
Yeah. So okay. So one of the security bots is blocking the door, and we just talk to Mick, and he destroys a screen in the hallway, just so all of the security bots come to him. Yeah, it's just about a bunch of running around and soul weapons. Although one of the more exciting things about this soul weapons bit is that we did find a new strategy for it to do it like slightly faster, which Miri doesn't do. It really doesn't matter all that much. But yeah, this bit is again just a bunch of menuing, optimal movement, that's it. It's pretty much the exact same thing as the first time around, except it's a little more unforgiving, so if you do make a mistake, it's likely that you cannot actually finish. In which case you will have to go back to the dude that gave you all the soul weapons and reset. Do the whole thing again. Probably one of the most painful things to do, to make a mistake here. And then you lose time because you didn't draw him Boomer versus GBs. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those fights that if you get a good draw, you can do it really quickly, and if you don't, it takes forever. So how is everyone doing on their bingo sheets? I am not doing very well.
I have not acquired a bingo sheet, unfortunately. I'm my eyes are just glued to the run now. I started by doing 3D work at the beginning, and I was like, oh wait, no, I'm actually very invested in this. Yeah, I love watching these. I never get tired of having all the extra BN content from all the speedrunners that are going on and playing, and it's great now, especially with the Legacy Collection. Just more people on live now, streaming BN. It's so nice, man.
Yeah, more people hanging out too. People getting into the speedrun community as well.
Yeah. Crayon, you said you were working on some like accessible kind of like BN6 start like beginner tutorials that like kind of show you how to set up everything, like emulator and all that stuff. You still working on that?
Yeah, no, well, the document for basically everything you need to get started on speedrunning is pretty much done, I think. I also kind of want to update the routes for beginners, basically, because it is you can do a couple of things to make your runs a little more consistent and a little easier to execute. So I also want to do like some sort of helpful thing there, and I'm not entirely sure yet how I exactly want to do that.
Well, I'm sure once you've got it figured out, you know, it'll be very helpful. Because I, you know, speaking from a beginner's perspective, I very much still am one. I had a little bit of trouble finding some stuff that was, accessible and that actually had all the information. There were some slides for most of the games that were like very helpful, but that still left a lot of stuff out. And it's like this information game. You have to go to other speedrunners in the community and kind of like fish information from them based off of like what game they play and stuff. And it would be nice to have it all in one place to just kind of more welcome, be more welcoming to people that are new, or maybe they're not even familiar with Team BN at all. They just want to like grab some resources that'll help them go straight to the speedrun board.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but Miri. So Kernel has like a little AI bug where you can sort of get him to do the same attack over and over again, and Miri just got the most unlucky pattern.
Oh no.
Basically, every time he goes, it's sort of like a 50-50. When he goes to one of the side lanes, that when you then flinch him, he goes to a lane where you can get him into that AI loop, and Miri didn't get it a single time.
Oh yeah, and I feel bad for talking over those fights because they were so juicy, but yeah, you interjected at the perfect moment. I was done talking anyway. You're just so good at that, Crayon. You're like Crayon knows exactly.
Yeah, no,
what
I think so. Yeah, it can be a little bit difficult to find all the information you really need. But the community is extremely helpful. So if you do want to get into speedrunning, there are a lot of resources for it that will help you get going, basically. And the community is more than willing to answer any questions you might have, any gaps.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, it's not a bad option for sure. But like, speaking from experience, I guess as just being a streamer or like someone that also runs an online community, it's like half the people that are in there, more than half actually, will never ever even speak to you, and then like more than half of that remaining half will barely speak to you. So and like those people, that they're just not gonna, right? So maybe some of them like would be out there and doing runs and like bringing some more life to the boards for the game, to the community for the speedrun, if that stuff was more accessible. So it's good to consider those people. It's just like, they're not interested in going around
people.
Well, not just interacting with people, but like, going out of their way to go on people's streams and like bother them for information, and maybe you're like going as far as asking people to send you notes. Like some people just aren't really comfortable with that. So I'm super extroverted, and even I felt bad asking. I like messaged Dingles at like who knows what hour it was for Dingles, asking about BN3 single segment white, because guess who is the only person with a time for BN3 single segment white that actually speaks like my language fluently enough to help me? It's Dingles. So
yeah.
I kind of like, even if it's only for one person ever, like maybe I should put together something that would help a beginner as well.
Yeah, it's always a community effort, really.
Dingles.
I don't feel bad.
Dingles, you have kids to put to bed, okay? You know when it's bedtime. That should be a good enough reference for you. Oh no, yeah, there's tons of resources. I just mean like an all-in-one, like kind of like, okay, if you're a beginner and you don't want to read like 50 different things and read through like spreadsheets that have like encounter rates and things on them and like GMD drops, to just
and kind of you have to kind of, so there are routes and there are slides, but then you also have to gather all of the maps. So yeah, I figured it would be a good thing to have a sort of one-stop shop for new runners.
Yeah, there's like this set of slides that I think what's his name, Doasim? He did those. Yeah, and it'll just be like, all right, like talk to mom, jack in, you need some Zenny in this area, you got to make sure you get about this Zenny. Jo for jack.
That's still funny to me as well. But the thing about the notes most of the time is when you start running, when you start practicing, there are bits that you don't really need notes for anymore really quickly. Like some of the things you just learn very fast.
Right. But it would be good to like not
notes that are available for like the notes that people are actually using for their runs. They are happy to share, but they will be missing information because they don't need that information anymore.
But this, the thing is that the information that's missing is often like completely arbitrary, just based off of like what that runner remembers or what they think that like should be remembered for a casual player that's played the game before. And some of that stuff for me just like wasn't true. Like BN is filled with mazes. There was a lot of like areas that just didn't have maps, didn't have any directions drawn, didn't have any like orders or anything like that. And like the slides were like super great for me because I could go and take his slides. And they were like, they're good. They have the whole run there, and I could just like copy it and alter it and like add stuff. But I figure it's better like to have more that can just be removed, because like if you have a slide that's like public or whatever, you can just duplicate that and then like, oh, I don't need all these map pages. I'll just delete them, and then you have like your kind of. Yeah. I just think it would be good to have more of that information there in one place, personally.
Yeah.
I kind of do a thing with BN6, or at least with...
Hang on a second. Did Hackjack just not do his spike attack on a cracked panel as well? I thought it was only elemental panels that he skips. That is interesting.
I have no idea. I've never even played this game in Japanese, so I don't know anything about Hackjack. Yeah, Ink might just be in the zone right now.
It's all good. That's a good draw too.
I would also mute the commentary if I had to listen to me talking.
So for Falzar, you can do the trick to get Colonel into his AI loop, but it's not quite as consistent as in Gregor.
That was cool. He took out Colonel so fast with those Aqua Whirlwinds or Aqua Whirlpools or whatever. Hurricane.
I think that's the first time we've seen a Aqua Beast. Spout Beast.
Spout Beast is so funny. Just like this cute little guy mixed with this horrible freak monster. Mega Man just becomes an abomination.
To our favorite loop of music in the entire game.
Yeah, we do love this. Too bad it's not the Timmy version or whatever. It's the only way it could be better. Oh, no.
Somebody make a mod for that.
It's a mod, but like the Expo song is just like actually a really, really long song, like the longest song in the game. And no one gets to hear it.
And then we won't be able to listen to the entire thing because we go through that area kind of quickly. Well, yeah, we're coming up on endgame actually already. The final few dungeons.
And they went by so fast.
Well, these are very fast runners.
Yeah,
that's why they're still in the tournament.
Yeah, that is what that is the point. That is the entire point. And also, it's fun to just like chill here with you and watch the runs. Very cool.
So these last few dungeons are essentially copies of the first few dungeons. And in this one, so this is a copy of Aquarium Comp, but we can't do L button strats like we did the first time around because that just doesn't work. And what we used to do a lot was just to slipwalk here, but eventually people figured out, oh, it's not that big of an encounter chance to just get the first prog by just running as fast as you can towards it. It's actually quicker to do that. But then for the rest of the comp, you do want to do a slipwalk, because getting encounters in this comp is kind of annoying. You can't run away, and sometimes the encounters can take quite a while to actually complete.
It's a shame that they did this. Like, this is the only, if I remember correctly, this is the only game in the entire six games that reuses previous scenario comps at the end instead of having its own unique comp.
BN1 does it as well.
Oh, right, BN1. Okay. The scope cut on this game is ridiculous. Like, the ending, they were just like, ending.
Yeah. So slipwalking in this comp actually is kind of tricky, because if you touch a wall, you drop out of your slipwalk animation, which also means you get a chance to get an encounter. Kind of sucks. The thing is that the progs that you pick up, and the tanks that you have to bring them to, also drop you out of slipwalk if you touch them. So you have to like interact with them from like a little bit away without touching them. But you do have to get like really close, so it's kind of scary. And now this is the exciting bit. We get to see Pavilion Comp, the Judge Tree copy.
Oh, yes.
But this time it should go really fast. This is what we call gavel skip. I talked earlier about this. We trigger the gavel so we don't get encounters, and then we just race to the exit.
This is you guys dodging Twitch bans in my channel.
No, Miri.
No.
Okay, well, we got bopped by a gavel. So the corners in these comps are really thick, so it's very easy to get stuck on them.
Yeah, the colliders
Trick
are
is
extra
in-
mean. Though.
At the same time, this trick is easier than it looks, but it's very, very easy to,
Oh, no.
slow down just enough or get like slightly too far away from the gavel. You don't actually want to get too far away from the gavel either, because when the gavel is close to you, it just starts following you. But when you get too far away, it tries to cut you off. It sort of rubber bands towards you.
I wonder
So-
at what point, what point does messing this up, like, actually, like, how much you have to mess this up for it to just be faster to walk through it normally, and like take the encounters and stuff?
I think it kind of depends on where you get caught. If you get caught right near the end, it sort of breaks even. If you then get the gavel skip. But if you get caught like twice, even if it's fairly early on, it probably would have been faster to not do it at all.
Yeah, maybe. I still feel like what Miri did just now was faster than just trying to do it normally, and because sometimes the encounters can really suck up a lot of time.
True. It's a good thing that Judgment doesn't really have any attacks, because 1 HP is kind of scary. Also, that's on the bingo sheets. For those people who have it, win with 1 HP counts.
Yeah, Miri just absolutely just with confidence destroyed that. didn't even blink an eye. Oh, too bad we can't skip through this one like we do in Weather Comp 3.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but at least it's only the one area.
We need Blackjack to just like find another random sub-pixel thing.
There is, in this comp, a scary encounter that Miri might get.
With the nightmare, you mean?
Yep. There is a virus in this comp that can only be damaged by swords.
I got that when I did my first run.
And the thing is, for folder flow and getting as many null element chips as we can get into our folder, we get rid of all of our swords. So at this point, Miri has like no swords in its folder at all. So if you run into that virus encounter, you just have to kind of run away. But because our base HP is so low, because we don't pick up any HP mems, because they're slow to pick up, you have a really, really small chance to actually get away here. It's a 25% chance on the first try to run away. So you can get stuck here for quite a while if you get that encounter.
Wait, the chance lowers after the first run?
No, it goes up. But
Okay.
then when you get to the next level, sort of, it goes back down again.
Oh, that's so cruel, man. Why did
And
they?
if
Why?
you
Who
fail
designed
the
that?
runaway, if you fail the runaway in enough times because of a quirk in the programming, like a little math error, there are 3 attempts where you don't have any chance to run away at all, and then after that one, it's a 100% chance. Also, Miri making quick work of Element Man. It's very nice of Element Man to. So he switches elements, and the first element he switches into is a grass element. So we just heat cross, and then we do double damage. Great.
Seems easy, except that he moves kind of fast. So when you do it yourself, it does not turn out as easily as Miri made it look. He can really sidestep you on some of those flamethrower blasts.
True. You have to
I mean,
kind of wait and see where he goes.
I know Crayon probably finds it easy too. Crayon's time is really good. For my perspective, still learning. I'm just like, oh dang, like I messed it up a little bit. I remember actually I died there and then had to like restart like the whole section. Oh no. How do you feel about these fights in the last RoboComp that Miri is doing? Are there any any ones to watch out for here?
The first 2, I'm actually quite surprised that Miri didn't heat cross for that second fight. I usually just beast out for both of them,
Right.
and charge null element chips. The third fight is a dangerous one. This one. So this one is a little bit unpredictable.
Oh man, yeah.
And it can go south really quickly. These guys do a lot of damage. The mech guy stuns you and then swords you, so...
They stun you and then just like ruin your life. It's
exactly.
really bad.
But Miri gets through it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Beast out is okay in that fight. Heat cross is okay in that fight. You just kind of...
Oh, here's another chance for your bingo sheets, gamers.
see if we get tented.
Getting clapped and getting tented. So silly.
Maybe doing the buffer movement strat. I cannot do this. This is way trickier than it looks.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, that was so close.
Dodged the triple tent. Let's go, gamers.
Right?
Ink is getting ready to dodge some sharks. Oh yeah, right there. Oh, I see.
Miri
was just-
doing the safety save, not ready to pull a crayon.
Ink was just standing there for a second before chasing that shark, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that there's actually like, because of like, you have the slip run, and you can chase the shark after that. You kind of there's like a 5 seconds there where you can like take a sip of your drink or something. That's cool. I'll remember that one.
All right, Miri coming up on Gregor. So for this fight, basically what we want to do is we go into the heat cross first. And do a bunch of damage to Gregor. You want to get the flamethrower out before he lands, because we want to hit him on his head and his body at the same time. He has 2 hitboxes, and if you hit them at the same time, it does double damage. And then after that, we beast out, or actually we heat beast, and we get to do this cool fire breath attack, which does do simultaneous damage.
You really have to tank a lot of hits from this dude to like kind of guarantee.
Depends on what kind of attacks he does, but yeah. But then again, I mean, doing 400 damage per charge is really good, and that's time. A 214, that's really solid.
GG, Miri. Good job,
Miri.
gamer.
Oh no, Ink! Not the gavel.
Ink's still going hard. We're closing in on the end over there as well.
Okay, we're switching audio to ink.
Good job, Miruri.
Ooh, and he barely makes it to the Judge Man. Another 1 HP Judge Man. This should be interesting.
Yeah, let's go. It's just you just you know.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Oh, he actually goes for the counter hit.
Nice.
What a legend.
Wow, wow.
No
really cleaning
fear.
up. Really cleaning up right now. Let's go. Absolutely love this fight. It's like, you know, it's I dare say it's more interesting than just heat blasting him.
That is true. That is true. I think that's one of the main advantages of Falzar over Gregor, is the fact that you have to be much more creative with your fights. You have to kind of actually think about it, get good chips, and if you don't, you have to sort of improvise. Whereas in Gregor, most of the time when you don't get good chips, you just, oh, okay, at least I have heat cross, and you don't actually have to think very much.
Gonna make a nice macaroni picture for our hurricane parents.
Oh, that is a very unfortunate draw.
Yeah, I was gonna say this fight is a little bit rough here with the 2 air shots and the attack plus 10s and the copy net. Well, what am I gonna do with this? Well, I guess I'm just gonna spout cross. Yeah, that takes care of it.
Yeah, that was kind of forced and very unfortunate. So this area as well, like in the first time we saw the Typhoons in the weather comps, they can get kind of trolly depending on their pattern, but in this comp it's even worse. That top Typhoon that Ink just got like it ain't no thing, that can sort of, in that top area, can just keep bouncing around and keep moving.
Oh my goodness, I had to go back and forth. So many times I had to go back and forth to get that dang thing out of that corner. Drove me nuts.
So there's like invisible walls that they can touch, and if they do, it resets their movement timer, so they can just keep moving and change directions. It's very annoying. And I think for this fight we will probably see Element Man turn red, because that is the strat for Falzar most of the time. His first element is grass, but then he goes into heat element, and then Falzar gets to deal double damage, and there he goes.
Hey, let's go. We got
I
one
noticed that
comp.
the colors are slightly different here as well.
Are they?
They are.
Oh. I'm kind of getting like not true colors from the feed that I'm watching, or like just a different kind of color set. I guess
Maybe that's what I'm noticing. That could be it as well.
Yeah, because it's like I think that like different emulators will kind of do it differently. Some of them kind of try to imitate the way that like the colors actually looked on the output of the GBA screen, like if it was a backlit GBA or if it like was one of the older ones. And then there's just like the true colors, which is how I like to play because they're very, very vivid. They do it like that on purpose, so that it, like when it desaturates and it gets to the actual output on the screen, that it like doesn't look all gray and washed out. But yeah, if you've been emulating with like,
that's an M-Boomer draw.
oh nice,
It just works like that.
easy.
That candle, if you can't kill that fight immediately, like if you heat cross accidentally and then sort of mess up a little bit, that candle can easily kill you. It's hard to dodge and it does a ton of damage.
Yeah, he looks like a sad baby candle, but he's actually quite dangerous. I think in the regarding the colors thing, I think in the Legacy collection, they have like you can actually change how the colors are displayed, and I think the default that they leave it on is supposed to be more like the GBA, and then the secondary option is like how you would see it in like an emulator that doesn't care what it would look like on the GBA.
Interesting.
I mean, if anyone in chat is like hearing this and they're like, "Dude, that's just wrong," just correct me. I'm not, I'm not an expert on this, so.
Right, final chance to get the tent.
I find it kind of interesting that you know, when you're doing a race, or rather when you're watching a race, let's say from that perspective, your focus is split, right? But as soon as one person finishes, you can just give all your attention to that other person finishing their run. There's like kind of an energy about it. I like that you just leave the like most basic recovery chip in your thing so that you can slash people with it.
I also really enjoyed the single tap for 5 damage and then the slash for the 200 damage for the kill.
Yeah, you gotta line it up nicely, man.
Right. And Ink now also coming up on the final boss fight. Falzar, of course, in this version. The Falzar fight, in essence, well, the fight is different, of course. Falzar has different attacks, and the field looks a little bit different. But the idea is pretty much the same. You spout cross first, hit him a couple of times. He doesn't have double hitboxes, as far as I know. And then you beast out, you spout beast, and then you charge no element chips.
And up your buster so that you can like needle him in the face.
Yeah, so one thing that I found very strange to learn is when Falzar does that tornado attack, you can actually just step back into it. There's like a timing to it, and it won't hit you, which allows us to get into position to get the tornado attack off.
Getting the placement of this this like whirlwind attack here that's going on, it seems
That was close.
GG.
GG.
Very nice.
Excellent showing by both runners. Solid times.
That fight does seem a little bit more demanding with the placement of the attacks than the Gregar one.
Ooh.
I
everybody.
am not particularly good at it.
GG. Ink, good job, gamer.
GGs.
That was really fun to
Thanks for all
watch.
the GGs from chat as well. Blackjack, Komari, Konami, the only one, Arathar, Miri, of course, Candy, and Jameek, and Kaze. Thank you so much for the GGs. Yeah, both runners did a great job. But unfortunately, there can only be one winner. And today, that winner is Miri.
Congrats, Miri.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So, Miri will be facing Komari in losers round 7 to decide who will be up against Rish in the finals. And unfortunately, Ink, since this is a losers bracket, you will be eliminated. No anime comeback, unfortunately.
Really far into this tournament. Like, did you want to even make it this far?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Not really.
I mean, you could have just lost to me.
but you died.
Yeah, that was your fault, Fran.
I still tried.
Don't blame him.
Ink
Fourth
gets
place.
4th place.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Very,
So-
very respectable.
You got that green GMD. Let's go.
I lost all of my 0 channel points, I bet. unfortunately.
I tossed 10k into that. I mean, that's fine. That's a
Worth,
nice
worth.
even pool, you know. I believed.
Everthar says Jamaica and I had a battle of who could throw harder, and I won.
It's crazy.
Wait, Crayon wasn't in the bracket for that?
I was in a league of my own.
Uncontested.
That was fun. That was fun. Thanks for having us, gamers. Appreciate you. If you wanna, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch. Also follow. And come check us out for some future streams. We still got another few races in this tournament, and some other content coming up. Did I do okay?
I think you did great. Yeah, good job.
I hope I have the save.
Thanks for having us, gamers. We're gonna end the stream now. Yeah, we're gonna raid someone.
I'm not sure if we have anybody who can trigger a raid, but yeah, we should probably look for someone.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go, gamer.
All
We're
set.
gonna. Looks like Time Link is on. They're playing Battle Network. We also. I don't see anyone else.
Yeah. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see if we can find a raid target. But otherwise, have a great one.